Hey everybody, this is Minion Soldier, and I'm looking at Armored Warfare again. And today I'm going to be continuing with, I guess, a short little series I'm going to be doing this week on Armored Warfare, and mainly because I enjoy playing in PVE mode. I wanted to highlight some of the tanks I think do best in PVE mode, which are really the main battle tanks. In Armored Warfare right now, it's still using kind of a closed map, arena map system, similar to World of Tanks. And I don't really find that maps like that are very conducive to other types of armored vehicles like tank destroyers and whatnot. In this battle, you're going to see how some people can use other tanks and use them well, and that's kind of one of the reasons why I chose this battle to put this up in a video. But really, in PvE mode right now, I think it's the main battle tanks that are really strong, and so that's what I'm going to be highlighting this week. And I think this, the tougher a tank is in PvE mode, the better off it is. And really, for my money, there's nothing tougher than the Challenger 2. I mean, this thing is just a rolling fortress, and you're going to see that in this battle. So, without further ado, let's get started.
Okay, Black Company.
Now, here we
Report
are in a
on
hard
Lion's
mode. This
objective.
is
We're
Operation Life
already
Jacket.
moving
This
to
is one
attack
of
the
the
systems
PvE
lab.
missions that
Get
you can
over there
select. They go
fast.
through a bit of a
There are also
rotation.
some trucks building
And
explosives in the area.
this is a
Disarm them
fairly
before they
decent map in
detonate and
hard mode.
minimize
It's
damage to the
not
plant.
too difficult to do if you've got a fairly tough tank. But pay attention to the Crab, which is a light armored vehicle, sort of like a Jeep with a little autocannon turret on it, because he doesn't have a lot of armor, but he's going to do very well for
This is
himself.
one of
He's
the
going to be
main
going
targets.
around, he's going to be
If it goes
flanking,
down, this
he's going to be
plant
getting
might as well be a
secondary
scrapyard.
objectives, and very well played to you, sir. That was awesome. But here I am, I'm using this rock to kind of guard my side. But unfortunately, early on in this battle, things really don't turn out in my favor. I'm missing shots. I'm not really getting a lot of opportunities. But I'm using this rock to protect the side armor of my tank just in case. And, I'm just playing conservatively at the beginning because I really want to make sure that I've got the hit points at the end to really carry throughout the whole battle. And that's one of the things, especially with lightly armored vehicles, is you have to be very careful with those vehicles. A lot of times in PvE battles, you'll see people who are driving those vehicles basically just charge right in and try to frontline a tank with maybe 30, 40 millimeters of armor against, modern equipment like Challenger 2, M1 Abrams, and so on and so forth. And it just doesn't work. And of course, we got bugs just like that one there, and unfortunate bounces. But now things are going to start going my way. It's been a little bit frustrating in the beginning. And ideally, this probably wasn't the best round to make a video out of, but I wanted to use it because the player in the Crab plays so well that it just kind of highlights that if you're very careful with your lightly armored vehicles, you can still do very well in games, even though arguably this game right now, especially in PvE mode, is slanted towards much more heavily armored vehicles. If you're very careful and you play very well, you can survive and even thrive in PvE mode with lightly armored vehicles. So here I am, I'm just trying to get shots in, protecting the cap,
The
but we
Lions
now
are
have to
reducing
move
their
towards the
attack
next
with the
zone, but I want to
underwater
finish
pump.
this guy off.
Quickly, now get over there and drive them away.
Now really, we haven't seen the armor showcased yet in the Challenger 2, and even now, like, I just unlocked this tank, I think, 2 days ago now. And so, it really doesn't have all the explosive reactive armor and the cage on it yet, so it doesn't have its full suite of defenses. But even basically bone stock, this tank is very excellent. It really is a tough customer, and I mean, it does have a slow aim time, but I'm hoping that once my crew gets skilled up and once I get to put some modules on this thing, that it'll really shape up and be a great tank. Because right now, for my money, this whole line, the Challenger line, is my favorite line to play PvE matches in, because the tanks in this line are fortresses. Now, I have to say honestly that the Chieftain, which is the tier 5 in this line, not the best tank, and certainly not a very good showcase for this line. But once you get past the Chieftain and you get to the Challenger 1, which is the tier 7, right now you can skip right from tier 5 to tier 7 in the British line. Or I guess the Western European line would be more apt, because there is an Italian tank in the middle of it. Once you get to the Challenger 1, I mean, it's just amazing. And now you're going to see this tank really starting to take shots and do damage. And you'll see just how tough this tank is. But I'm just being careful with my shot right here. But anyways, as you go through this line, starting with Challenger 1... Challenger 1 is just an amazing tank. A little bit slow, but it is literally just a rolling steel fortress. And if you're careful with it, you can kind of use that slow speed to kind of, in a way, protect yourself from kind of charging up a little too far and getting surrounded. And it just allows you to kind of stick your nose out, much like I'm doing right here, where I'm sticking my nose out. And I can just sit back and just, you know, get the damage in there without having to worry too much about being exposed and suffering damage. And that's one of the advantages of this line. I mean, now it doesn't hit as hard as the Russian line, which I think I'll feature next tomorrow. But it does, you know, it can sustain a lot of DPM because it's a steel fortress. It can hang out there and it can just keep throwing shells after shell after shell after shell. And there's just, you know, it doesn't have to worry as much as the other tanks do. Certainly the Russian tanks, their flanks are a lot softer. And here you can see that crab rushing in to shoot this guy in the ass. I mean, and look, he's practically full HP if he isn't full HP. And, you know, he's just hanging in there. I mean, he's just doing an amazing job. And that vehicle has, you know, basically jack for armor, but he's doing well. And now, not only that, he's anticipating where the artillery is going to spawn in this level, and he's going to charge over and kill the artillery as soon as it spawns, so that we don't have to worry about it. And I mean, a player who's that aware of the game, yeah, my hat's off to you, sir. That's extremely well played, because I was worried that I was going to have to kind of go down there, and I wanted to get this objective as well, to seal up our bonus for this level, which is if you complete the secondary objectives, you get varying bonuses for completing the mission in terms of experience and credits earned. But the fact that he goes over there, anticipates the fact that artillery is going to be there and kills it, is just very well done. Now here I am, I'm kind of surrounded, and you're really going to see the armor come into play here. Because as I'm, you know, basically hanging my neck out and taking all these shots, I'm able to just keep firing shell after shell after shell. As soon as my gun reloads, I'm just sending it downrange. And that's really the ideal with a tank like this, is just to put yourself in a position like this, where as soon as you've got a shell in the barrel, or, you know, as soon as you shut the breech, you're firing that shell and you're reloading another one. That, for tanks like this, that really is the ideal, and the armor just allows you to do that. Now as I move up, I'm kind of pursuing these guys to kind of get rid of them. I'm going to wind up in a bit of a position here. Any second now it should happen. Yeah, 1, 2 on either side of me. And now I've got another one coming from behind me, so that's 3. But I've got the hit points, I've got the armor, and I can deal with that. And that's one of the things, like in PvE, the spawns are a little bit random, so you're never quite sure where they're going to come from. But I'm able to take the hits, and I'm able to hang in the firefight and just keep throwing shells down range. Now, if I hadn't missed that shot, it would have been better, but even now I'm about to get ambushed from behind. But it's no big deal. I'm not paying attention to the map. I don't see that guy behind me yet. I missed my shot on the Ariete. Sorry if I mispronounced that.
Target destroyed.
But here we go. Boom. Now I realize there's a guy behind me.
Hostile tank. Direct hit.
That wasn't too bad there. That shot on the move with the damaged gun.
Track repaired. Identify target. Hostile
But
tank.
there he goes.
Well done.
That's the
The
match.
people of this region owe you their thanks for their
And now let's see how we
continued
did.
freedom.
Now the bonus isn't in effect yet when I played this game. So this is pretty much standard with a premium account. So I was able to turn things around pretty well at the end there. So overall the results were very good. As you can see, I got top experience for the team, did pretty well on EXP and credits considering the state of the game and the PVE rewards right now. But I did fairly well. Little bit of a rough start, but I was able to pull it around. And there you can see over 7,000 damage mitigated by my armor on a 3,300 HP tank. That's not too bad, and that's a pretty solid result. And honestly, if you want to play the PVE right now, the Challenger line is an excellent line to play. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed the video, and thanks for watching.